Happy Tuesday evening to all of you. And I believe you had a fantastic day today, right? So, second day of the week, and I believe you already is progressing well on the things which you planned for this week. Okay, awesome. So, we already in the month of April, and only 8 months left after this. We just started April month, 3 months already gone. Now, I just want to check question to all of you is at the start of this year when you set up a goals and objectives for you what you want to achieve in 2026, so the version which you're looking for yourself to upgrade into, which is 12 months from this point now, uh, and now only 8 months left for you to meet that next version of yourself. I just want to quickly check with you, how are you progressing towards your next version? Let's say you and I sit somewhere in the coffee shop, and if I ask you this question, what did you achieve in this year 2026, in December 2026 I'm talking about? Yeah. If we both sit somewhere in the coffee shop in December 2026, and if I ask you this question, how are you progressing towards your next version? Did you really achieved what you're really looking for? What would you tell me? Already 3 months gone. Okay, the fourth month started. Maybe in the month of September and October your appraisal process will start, okay, in the with the company where you work for. And yeah, so you have effectively 6 months now in hand to showcase your leadership, your visibility towards leadership, right? So that's why I would like to add some practical value in the remaining time we have in this year 2026, so that you can start implementing the right things for yourself, so that you can operate into that ecosystem where you can generate your influence and create develop your show your visibility to the people, to the senior people in the organization. Okay, so first of all, those people who are very new to me, listening first time, I would like to quickly introduce myself. I'm Tushar Chaudhary. I'm a leadership coach for project managers. So I help mid-career, mid-senior project managers who are presently going through a stuck feeling because you have ample amount of experience, maybe more than 12, 15, 20 years of experience, and you call yourself as a subject matter expert, and but this expertise is actually blocking your growth, because the people who you're working with in the organization, the top ladder, they're seeing you only as an executioner who actually delivering the task, but they don't strategic leader. And this is where I help you to come out of this trap of performance trap, or I would say execution trap, where this belief I want to break down, kill that belief that some of us believe that my performance will help me to grow into the career, my experience will help me to grow into the career. But actually, you know what, that's not the truth. Now these obviously performance and experience, it also add value, but it's not the only thing. Now your performance will not compound, your experience also will not compound. What compounds is the impact you made on the people, the influence you created. Okay, that actually comes. Why I want to help you guys to come out of this experience trap or performance trap. I want you to operate into an ecosystem of your leadership values, your leadership influence. Every day, 24 by 7, you create those impact and influence on the people. And you operate from your core leadership depth, the values. Okay, that's where I help you to build your ecosystem. Now that's about me. Now today's topic is straight away helping you to build that visibility which we're looking for in the organization. Okay, so you know if you before I go into the topic today, I want to ask you something, and I want to share with you something. See, if your work is not visible in the organization, it means it does not exist. So you may be sincere, you may be delivering the works and the task, okay, but you may be the most dependable person in your team. But if the right people don't see your impact, your career will stay exactly where it is. And please understand this. This is not politics. This is leadership responsibility. Let me give you a reality check. Let's be honest. In today's organization, the decisions are fast, the attention is limited, and the leaders are overloaded. So nobody has time, you know, to discover what you did good in the organization. Okay, what good work you have done. So if you are thinking that my work will speak for itself, it will not, because work doesn't speak. People speak about the work. Yeah. So let me share a very real workplace example from my project experiences. I remember we were delivering a very high value infrastructure project, and technically we were doing solid work. The quality was good, the team was committed, the progress was ready, steady. But something strange was happening. Senior leadership was not really aligned, was not confident with what we're doing. And why? Because they were not seeing the entire story. They were only seeing the scattered updates. Please understand, these people, the senior leadership people, they actually operate at 30,000 feet level. From this level, what they're seeing is only the scattered updates. And in the leadership meetings, other projects, even average ones, were getting more attention. Why? Because those project managers, they were communicating better for their projects, and was that was a wake up call for me. I realized that we were working hard, but I was behaving invisible. Then I talked to my mentors, and then I realized what shift I have to do. So instead of just managing the delivery, I started managing the visibility. So here is what I did. No, I created a simple weekly narrative. No, I'm not talking about data dumping, okay? I created a simple weekly narrative. So in that narrative, what I used to cover, what progress means for the business, okay? Second, I started highlighting risks as early as possible with the solutions. So the mindset is not to show only problems, but to think about it and inform about it and provide solutions. And the third, I started representing the team's work in leadership language. So the people at the 30,000 feet level, they may not able to understand my technical language. So I have to speak their language, keeping their priorities, their requirements at the priority, and speaking in their language so that they can understand it. And because I need some decisions to be made so that for the project objectives and the business objectives can be achieved. So I started speaking in their language, leadership language. And because of that, something has changed. See, leadership people at the top leader, they started trusting us more now. The decisions become faster for us. And our project got priority support now. Same work, but just different visibility. And that day, I realized, I understood that visibility, what people talk in the organization is, I realized some people, some mid-career people, because of the insecurity of the job and because of this current situation of job layoff and redundancies, some people take the visibility as a very wrong conceptual. They think visibility is like to just be seen into the even they did not do anything, they want them to seen by others. I think that's the wrong understanding of visibility. Visibility is not self promotion. Visibility is like a leadership communication. Okay. And this become clearer when I started learning from some, I read some very fantastic books during those days. Okay. So I like to share with you those book names, and probably I would like you to read those books also. So the book number one, the book name is Executive Presence by Sylvia. Okay. Now this book gave me a very strong insight. The book said, the author said, see, leadership is judged on presence, communication, and appearance, not just performance. So I know some of you may not like this, because we are so much performance focused, so much the task completion focused. You may not like it, but this is the fact, this is the reality. If people don't see confidence and clarity, I don't think they will associate with you. They don't associate with your leadership. Okay. So it's, and I think my mentor used to say me that it's, Tushar, it's not about what you're doing. Okay. People don't follow you about what you do. They follow you about who you are, basically what you as a person is. Okay. So people don't see, if people do not see that confidence and that clarity, they don't associate with you, with your leadership. Okay, that's the book number one. Now the second book I would like you to read is that Show Your Work. Okay, by Austin Kleon. Now, exactly opposite. You know, sometimes when we are asked to talk about our work, we shy, we hide in the shadows. So, Show Your Work. Fantastic book. I want you to read this. This book says something very, very, very simple. Do the work and share the work. Yeah. If you got the opportunity to talk about your work, speak about it. Most professionals only do the first thing. They only do the work, and very few do the second thing. So I realized I was not showing the thinking. See, what do you mean by showing the work or sharing the work? Please don't take it again into the negative concept of that showing the work. It's not boasting about you. It's not bragging about you. Let me be very, very clear. The audience, the population, the people in the organization, they wants to know, hey, what type of genius you have that you applied that in that project, what exactly the out of box thinking you applied. Because if you do not share that one, there is no enlightenment for people. Okay. So this is what I realized. I was not sure in my early career, and also in mid career, actually I was not showing the thinking behind my work. I used to shy. Whenever I was being asked to speak about my work, I used to thank my boss, I was to thank my team, I was to thank my stakeholders and client, but what the hell I did in that work, I was not talking about. Okay, that was a very wrong culture was being set up. And then I realized that there is no enlightenment by just hearing people thanking each other. What exactly you did there, if you don't talk about that one, people will not feel why they, how they feel that they learn out of this discussion. And if your wisdom is not being shared to people, it's a waste. Okay. So that's the powerful realization I had when I read this book. And I once I started sharing, once I started facing the people and talking about what actually I did in that work. Like for example, if I develop if I really, if I have, there is a very complex way of working, but I listed out the flow of chart, the discussions, or I created a spreadsheet which is capturing the data, which make people life easy, or if I create a system, or if I create a protocol. But when I started sharing that one, the people who were listening me below the ladder, up the ladder, their perception change about me. Okay, so that's the power of this book. The third book which I really want you to read is called Presence by Amy Cuddy. Now this book talks about this book talks about how people perceive you. Some days back, well, a few days back, one of my mentee came to me, Tushar, I'm doing great, everything in the office. I'm PMP, I'm a Scrum Master. I did Six Sigma and all that stuff. You ask me anything, I did it, and I do the task also. I complete the things also. Raise my hands for all the things, but still, I am not been considered for my leadership roles. My boss didn't consider me yet. And this again, that example showed me that there is a huge gap between what we perceive about ourselves and what others perceive about ourselves. There's a gap. And you know what, this gap, there are some consciously, unconsciously, we are doing something which really creates this gap. Okay. or there are blind spots we have that need to be really killed out. Okay, I want you to understand this gap is what the frustration we all have, we are going through. And to close this gap, you have to work on your blind spots. You have to work on some. Many people blame that, oh, the other people are not understanding me very well, but actually, you know what, the problem is not outside, the problem is inside. So this book talk about how people perceive you. So the difference between what you perceive and different what other people perceive you, there's a gap. So the whose responsibility is to fill this gap? Other people, why would they come and fill this gap? Absolutely not. It's you have to fill this gap because you want to be a leader, right? So people do not just evaluate your work, they evaluate your confidence, they evaluate your communication. And if you sound unsure in any of that, even strong work looks very weak. So I worked on myself. I went to my mentors, I talked to them about this, I want to fill this gap. There I worked on myself, and I worked on how to speak, how I present myself. I started taking ownership of whatever the words coming out of my mouth. I started taking the ownership of the impact speaking through my behavior, actions. Okay, so how I'm presenting myself in the organization. Yesterday we talked about, are you going to office like a 9 to 5 mindset, or are you going to the office as like an entrepreneur? Are you going to go like you're a startup person, you're a businessman, you're a business leader? How you present yourself in the organization. And the third, I started working on my whatever the ideas I have, whatever the new concepts or new initiatives I have, I started framing it properly. And you know what, because of that, the visibility improved for me. Okay, so how to do all these things, how can you implement this, how can you do this visibility, improve this visibility in the organization? And that's why I would like to share with you three practical shifts which you really easily can start implementing right now. And I would like you to please take note of this one. Okay, and whatever I just shared with you, if that added value in your understanding, I want you to please type yes in the comment section. Okay, and I would like to hear your views also. And please type in the comment. I will personally respond to your views, okay, to your comments. Now let me share with you the three practical shifts which will help you to take leadership responsibility, to make it to take the responsibility for your visibility, to fill that gap. Okay, there are three shifts. The first shift is, I want you to move from data mindset to story mindset. Okay, I want you to frame your ideas, frame your thoughts that people can relate to. So stop sending long reports, technical updates. Start communicating what this means for business. Leaders, they don't consume data, they understand the stories. Okay, that was the first shift. So move from the data mindset to the story mindset. The second shift is, I want you to move from that hiding behind the shadows, being silent into the meetings. Even though you have something to share, you have something to add value, you are keeping yourself silent. I want you to move from that mindset to strategic communication mindset. Do not wait for people to give you the turn. Now, don't wait for your turn to come. Don't wait to be asked. Proactively share the progress, the risk, the decisions, but with clarity. So visibility is not a noise. Okay, it's not bragging about yourself. It's it's basically a structured communication. It's a strategic communication. Okay, and the shift number three, I think this is the problem most of us is having. And please accept this if it is really related with you. Do not try to fight with that one. Many of us, because most of us are so execution focused, we are so delivery focused. Most of us are solo contributor and we enjoy solo contribution. And in that solo contribution journey, we have too much of focus on us. We are so self focused. And I want you to move from that self focus to team focus, the team representation. This is important. Visibility is not about, hey, just look at me, I'm the best here. Can you see, have you seen these people in the meetings? They speak like blah 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 blah, even though they do not have much value to be added into that one. But the moment they, every time they just start speaking or start showing taking movements and things, I think that's a fake visibility, because it will not go for long. It's a very temporary way of, because they do not have that clarity why they really want to have a visibility. Such a people, they don't go for long. Okay, if the visibility has no value, then it's a waste. People not even follow you. Please understand it. Visibility is not about just look at me. It's about, let me represent the value we are creating. Okay, so when you position your team well, when you position other people well, when you lift them, when you show them what they have done, you become a leader. Do you agree with me? Type yes in the comment section. And now we reach to the end of this topic. Let me leave you with this another powerful thought. In your organization, there are people really working hard, and there are people being seen as a leaders. The difference is not the number of hours they worked or the hard work they're doing or the efforts they're in adding. The difference is how they've been seen by the people. The difference is visibility. So from today, don't just do the good work. Don't just do the good work for getting the client feedbacks or the stakeholder feedbacks for rating 5 out of 5 or something. Don't just do good work for that. Make your work visible in a way that builds the trust. Okay, and if this, whatever I just shared with you, if this made you think, yes, Tushar, somewhere there is a need for us to fill this gap, I want you to comment visible in the comment section. And in case, if you really want to move from that, uh, you know, uh, that mindset of only self focus or only the mindset of sharing the data, but want to, or if you're someone who experiencing this gap that I'm doing great but others thinking that I'm not doing great, so that means there is something wrong there. Okay, and that gap need to be filled. If you don't work on this gap, even if you do great work there, you will not be considered for a strategic leader. Okay, even if you did a fantastic report writing, or you work day and night, or weekends, or you sacrifice your family, I don't think you'll be considered for any strategic leadership positions. Okay, you have to fill this gap, and you should take this responsibility. So in that case, I would like to invite you for my book one-to-one slot with me, and that one-to-one slot is for your leadership, visibility, clarity. Okay, so there's the link in the comment section. You can go to my LinkedIn and you can book an appointment with me. Okay, and yeah, you can join. There's a great positive, good news for you. There is a webinar happening on Sunday at 10 a.m., which is for leadership, project leadership mastery, and the entire webinar focus is on how you can build your authority, how you can build your visibility in the organization. Okay, so I want you to attend that webinar on Sunday at 10 a.m. The link in the comment section. Join the WhatsApp group. Okay, and yeah, until that moment, I'm signing off today. From This is Tushar Chaudhary, your leadership coach from Bengaluru. I will come back again tomorrow with one more leadership insight for you to go to that high income 1 crore leadership thinking. Okay. Until that moment, implement whatever we just discussed and take care of yourself. God bless you.